Hey there, friends. Laura here from Lelo Yoga and Wellness, and welcome to your 30 to 30 Yoga Challenge. It's where we're going to take 30 days to slowly work our way up to 30 minutes of yoga by doing just a little bit each day. I know you can do this. Truman the Griff is ready to go, and I hope you are too. Let's get started. Let's take a moment to just find any comfortable seated position. Maybe you are cross-legged, maybe you're in bound angle, maybe you're in staff, maybe you have your knees tucked in. Doesn't matter, just something that helps you start to get comfortable. And begin to put down the rest of the day and just let yourself focus on this moment. We start by noticing how our body is feeling. Are you hot? Are you cold? Maybe you're a little uncomfortable. Maybe you feel great. Maybe you're relaxed. Maybe you feel tense, anxious. Whatever it is, just take a moment to observe it. We're not trying to change it. We're just taking the time to connect with our body. We start to notice the breath, how easily it just comes and goes. You don't have to do anything with it. It just happens. It's been with you since the start, and it will continue to be with you. As we begin to get a little more in tune with that breath, let's see if we can deepen that inhale. And as we do so, we sit up just a little bit taller. And as we exhale a little more fully, we begin to release some of the tension that might be in our body. If it feels good for you, you can let your eyes gently close here. Or perhaps just take a soft gaze at one point in your room. Do what feels best for you and what brings you into the moment. Give yourself a couple more breaths here, just focusing on deepening and improving the quality of our breath. And on your next inhale, let's start to connect the body along with that breath. Breathing in, reaching high, allowing your gaze to follow your fingertips. Exhale. Let the arms drop, let the chin drop. Inhale, and we reach up and look up. Check in with your neck right now, see how it feels. Exhale, taking yourself to your limit, your edge for that breath. Let's take one more full inhale up. This time as we exhale, let's bring our right hand to the left knee and take your left hand behind you, almost like the back of a chair, giving you a little bit of support. As we inhale, we sit a little bit taller. Exhale, and take a look over your left shoulder. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, deepen that twist just a little bit. Inhale, reaching both hands high, facing forward. Exhale, let's take that twist to the other side. Right hand giving you the support, left hand to your knee. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, taking that look over the shoulder. And one more time. Inhale, sitting taller. Exhale, looking over the shoulder. Inhale, taking both hands high. This time as we exhale, take your left hand down to the floor, reaching up through the right. We want to keep our hips level here, looking for a little bit of opening between our hip and our ribs. Keeping the hips level and bringing your upper arm as close to your eye as you can. Maybe you're looking at that arm. Maybe you're looking forward. Maybe you're looking down to your hand on the mat. Do what feels good for your neck. Inhale, reaching both hands high. Exhale, let's take that side stretch to the other side. Again, gaze where you want. Hips stay level. Breathe your way through it. Inhale, both hands coming high. Exhale, we're bringing our hands to the top of our mat now. Knees come right underneath your hips. Hands directly underneath your shoulders. Let's start to lengthen out through the spine. Take a look down at the tops of your hands. You want your fingers to be spread wide here, so you can see the mat between your fingers. Anytime you want, you can always come up onto your knuckles to give your wrist a little bit of a break, or incorporate some blocks to shift your weight back slightly and give a little bit less pressure into the upper arms. Your decision what you want to do with it. We check in with the neck and lengthen out, taking some space between the shoulders and the ears. Next time we inhale, we lift the gaze, let the belly drop. The backside starts to tip toward the ceiling. As we exhale, scoop your hips under, round through your spine, tuck your chin toward your chest, and take your gaze right to the thighs. Inhale, lifting the gaze, letting the belly fall, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Let's take one more round. Inhale. And exhale. Returning to tabletop position. Pause here. Let's reach out now through the right hand and the left leg for bird dog, or spinal balance, whichever you like to call it. We want the hand and leg to be equal distance off the ground. So we create that tension across the belly, really starting to engage our core. Inhale, reach through the fingers, reach through your heel, your fingers are spread wide, your toes are spread wide. Exhale, start to round through the spine, bringing your elbow and forehead towards your knee. Inhale and reach. Exhale and crunch. Inhale and reach. Exhale and crunch. Inhale and reach. Pause here. Exhale, take your left leg out to the side, your right arm out to the side, and we begin to reach all the way up. Exhale, right hand to the ground. Gazing up at the fingertips. Inhale and reach. Exhale, left hand to the left ankle, reaching overhead. Inhale and reach. Exhale, returning to tabletop. Taking bird dog now on the other side, reaching through the left hand and the right heel. Spread the toes, spread the fingers. Inhale, big reach through the fingers and heel. Exhale, rounding the spine. Find that crunch. Inhale and reach. Exhale and crunch. Inhale and reach. Exhale and crunch. Inhale and reach. Taking the left hand out to the side, right foot out to the side. Your foot's parallel to the mat here. Inhale, sweeping the hands high. Exhale, left hand to the floor. Gaze might be up toward your hand. Inhale and reach forward. Exhale, right hand to the leg. Or maybe you're looking down at the floor. Your choice. Inhale and reach. Exhale. Returning to tabletop. Let's take one round of cow and cat. Pausing here, checking in, making sure we've got that length at the neck that we're looking for. From here, we tuck our toes under, lift the hips high, and come into our first down dog. You can start to pedal out the legs, get a little motion in the body. We want to transfer our upper body weight to the middle of the palm, right at the base of our fingers. Arms are long, spine is long, and then we come up on all 10 toes and slowly let the heels release toward the mat. Slide your shoulder blades towards your hips and away from your spine to create a little space in your neck. And then just take your gaze toward the top of the mat and walk easy to the top. Big toes together, space at the ankles. Reach for your opposite elbows, generous bend in your knees, and come into ragdoll. Just let the head hang. You can move this a little bit if you want. Releasing your hands toward the mat, start to find some length in your legs, whatever that looks like for you. Upper body's folding toward the legs. You can bring your hands to the calves to draw your upper body a bit closer if you like. Tent your fingers, place them on the front of your shins. Lift the upper body till it's parallel to the floor for halfway lift. On your next exhale, release down toward the mat. Forward fold. And then begin to slowly roll your way up, one vertebra at a time, bringing your shoulders all the way up to the ears, to the back, and down, relaxing into mountain pose. Palms forward, gaze strong, straight ahead. Let's take a nice deep breath, reaching up high, squeezing a bit through the glutes to push your hips forward and lifting from the upper chest. Exhale, cactusing your arms. Take that small back bend through the upper back. Inhale, reach the hands high. Exhale, reach your left hand toward the back, right hand toward the front, hips facing forward for standing twist. Option here, bring your hands to heart center to take a little bit of the pressure off of the shoulders. Inhale, sweep the left hand down, face forward, reach up, pick up that right hand. Exhale into your cactus. Inhale and reach. Exhale, standing twist on the other side. Right hand reaches back, left hand reaching forward, looking over those back fingertips while we work our hips to the front. Inhale, sweep the right hand down, pick up the left hand. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale and reach. Hands come to heart center, pause. Inhale, let's reach the hands up high, sit back into the hips, a little space here between the knees for chair pose. Take a look down and make sure you can see your toes right now. If you can't quite see them, maybe stand up a bit taller or shift your weight back slightly. Reaching up through those strong fingertips. Chair is a defiant pose, so let yourself defy gravity here. Inhale, reach through the fingers. Exhale, sweeping the arms down. Come up on your toes for balancing chair. Inhale, set the heels down. Reach the hands high. Chair pose. Let's do that again. Exhale, balancing. Inhale, chair. Exhale, balancing. Inhale, chair. Pause here. Inhale, pull your left knee towards your chest. Take a big step back and pivot on your back foot, swinging your left hand back and around to come into warrior two. Front heel aligned with the back arch, hips in the center, shoulders over hips. Flip your front hand, reverse warrior. Exhale, returning to warrior two, sweep your left hand down and up. Stepping into chair. Inhale, stepping back on the right side now. Exhale, pivot the back foot, warrior two on the other side. Check that alignment, heel to arch. Flip the front hand, reverse warrior. Exhale, coming into warrior two, sweep your right hand down and up, pivot the back foot, returning into chair pose. On your next exhale, swinging down into forward fold, plant your hands. Take a big step back into plank. Hands directly under the shoulders. Here's a few variations for you. Here on hands and toes, you can also drop to your knees for hands and knees. You can bring your elbows directly under your shoulders for elbows and knees, or tuck your toes under, lengthen out the whole body for elbows and toes. Wherever you are, shift your weight forward, lower down. Hands directly under your shoulders. Inhale, small baby cobra, gaze straight ahead. Exhale. If your low back felt okay with that, full cobra, extending the arms, lifting the gaze. Exhale. If you want, add a little bit of power. Up dog, coming up on the tops of the feet, lifting the gaze. Pause here. Toes under, come into that kneeling plank, lift into your down dog, and take 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 steps. Find your rag doll. Grab those opposite shoulders, letting the head hang. Releasing the arms to the floor, slowly rolling up. 1 vertebra at a time. Take a deep breath, out and up. And bring your hands to heart center. Let's find an arrow mudra here. Lacing your last 3 fingers and bringing your pointer and thumb together. Bring those hands to the center of the chest. Take a little roll through the shoulders, big toes together, space between the heels. A little bit more warmth in the body, sun salutation. Upward salute by scooping it down, then right back up again. Find that little squeeze in the glutes, pushing the hips forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, tenting those fingers on the front of the shins. Exhale, plant your hands on the mat. Bring both knees underneath each hip for table. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, table. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips high, down dog. Pause here, take a full breath in and out. Step or hop to the top of your mat, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep out and up. Exhale, hands come to heart center, finding your arrow mudra. Inhale, upward salute as we go into sun salutation with a more traditional flow. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Plank, any version you want. Chaturanga, lower down, elbows in tight. Baby cobra, full cobra, or up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, coming into down dog. 1 breath, in and out. Relax your shoulders away from the ears. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep out and up. Exhale, arrow mudra. Anytime you want to, you can use that alternate version of the flow with table, cow, and cat. Saves the shoulders sometimes if you're feeling it. Sometimes you just want something different. Go with what you want. Inhale, sweeping the hands high, coming to your chair pose. Exhale, pick up through your left leg and begin to push that leg behind you to find your warrior 3. Reaching the hands out in front, finding one spot to focus our eyes on, and working on balance from the tips of the fingers right through the tips of those toes. Let's begin to pull the left leg in, sitting down into your chair. Same thing on the other side. Lift up through the right leg, send that right leg back behind you for warrior 3. If you're wobbling a little, that's okay. Wobbling is totally normal. Let's get the hips as level as we can, and then we begin to bring the right leg back into chair. Inhale, lift high. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Mudra, staff pose on the left leg. Take about 2/3 of a step back and set the heel down, turning the foot out at a 45-degree angle. Bend your front knee. Let's take the hands all the way up high for Warrior One. Exhale, bringing your hands to the base of the spine, chest over the right thigh, and allow the hands to drift high. Gaze is all the way at the back of your mat for Humble Warrior. Bring the hands back down to the base of the spine. Reach the hands up high. Pick up through your left leg and sit back into chair. Inhale and lift. Send that foot back on the right side, 45-degree angle, Warrior One. Exhale, release the hands, Humble Warrior. Hands come high and find your chest expansion. Inhale, hands to the base of the spine, stepping into chair. Releasing down to the mat, hands on the mat. Find any plank position you want to be in. Maybe it's a full plank. Maybe you drop down to your right knee as you open up to side plank. Hands can be looking, or eyes can be looking up high, forward, or down to the floor. You decide. Let's bring that left hand down to the floor. Pivot onto our plank position and get ready to take the side plank on the other side. Sides of the feet, maybe you have that left knee down, maybe not. Maybe you're on your elbow. It all works. Take your gaze down to the mat. Bring the right hand back to the floor. Come back into your plank position. From your plank pose, step your right foot between your hands. Inhale, reach both hands up and then windmill out into a 5-pointed star. Toes out, heels in. Prayer squat, dropping straight center. Inhale and lift. 2 more. Inhale and lift. Last one. Inhale and lift. Pick up your left heel and pivot right back down. All 10 toes facing forward. Switching legs. Step forward on the other leg. Inhale, reach up, find your 5-pointed star. Toes out, heels in. 3 squats here. And 2. And 1 more. From your 5-pointed star, windmill those hands back down, returning to a runner's lunge. Stepping the feet together. Step back one more time on your left leg. Turn and face the long edge of your mat. Shift your weight to the back. High lunge, hands on top of your thigh, or alternate, come down low and find a surfer's lunge. Maybe you bring your hands to heart center to challenge your balance. We release down to the floor. Shift your weight to the front of the mat. Again, high lunge is one option, or variation, that low surfer's lunge. Bringing your hands again to heart center. High or low lunge, we're going to bring those hands to the front of the mat, pivot the back foot to come back into your runner's lunge, and take a step forward, half on, half off the mat, and the other foot half on, half off the mat. Pause here. Moving into Malasana. We may stay here in this higher lunge. You can take your blocks and stack them underneath you. And you may also need to adjust how wide your legs are. I'm pretty short, so I can have mine half on the mat. Can always take that block away. And if you have the mobility at your hips and it feels okay, you can bring your elbows to the inside of the knees, bring your hands a little bit closer. If that feels like too much pressure, take the pressure away and just bring the hands to rest on the opposite elbow. This is an awesome way to help build a little bit of mobility at your hips. I don't know about you guys, but I have pretty tight hips, so I definitely need this. hands down to the floor now, and step back on your left leg. We're still keeping the right foot at that 45-degree angle, and we're going to come out on the right edge of the foot. You can keep your left leg long or drop to the knee. Also, you can bring your left hand a bit closer, a little bit of pressure on the right inner thigh as we turn toward that front thigh for lizard pose. Bringing both hands to the center, step forward with the left, step back with the right. Same options, back knee can be down or extended. Maybe we walk the right hand a bit closer, put a little more pressure on that inner thigh to open up the hips. We spend so much time sitting. This is a really critical way to help open those hips back up. Release, bringing both hands to the mat, and come back into Malasana. Let's begin to bring our feet a little bit closer. Come back down just onto your toes. Let the heels come off the ground. Hug yourself close. Ball of yarn. Let the chin drop. Take a breath. Hands come to the floor. Set the heels down. Halfway lift. Lengthening out through the neck, nice long spine. Exhale into a forward fold. Inhale, sweep all the way out and up, that little squeeze through the glutes to push the hips slightly forward, lifting from the chest. Exhale, bringing the hands to heart center. Inhale and reach. Exhale, sitting into chair. Take a look and make sure you can see those toes. Gaze straight ahead. Find that defiant spirit. Inhale, lifting up through the left leg. Exhale, turn the left knee out and place the toes on the ground with the heel at your calf. Or maybe the foot is at the calf. Or maybe you can pull that heel all the way up so the foot is at the inner thigh. Just stay away from the knee for tree pose. Take one full breath in and out. Bringing the left knee forward, sit back into chair. Inhale, staff through the right side, turn the knee out. Wherever you place that foot for tree on the other side, try to mirror it on this side. You might want a little bit lower branches, or maybe a more mindful pose, hands at heart center. Take it where you want to be today. And we release to the floor. Mountain pose. Inhale, staff pose. Exhale, step back into that crescent lunge. Exhale into your warrior two. You know it, we've done it. Inhale, five-pointed star. Exhale, warrior two to the back of your mat. Inhale, sweep the right hand down, pick up the right heel, crescent lunge. Exhale, stepping into chair pose. Inhale, coming into staff on the left, step back, crescent lunge. Exhale into warrior two. Inhale to five-pointed star. Exhale, warrior two to the front of your mat. Sweep the right hand down, pick up the right heel, crescent lunge, stepping into the top of the mat and chair pose. Pause here. Swan dive down into your forward fold. Plant the hands, step back into plank, and come into plank on your knees. Tops of the feet down, lowering down, reverse corpse. Take the legs a little bit wider, arms a little bit wider, gaze is at the floor. Inhale, lift through the hands, lower down. Inhale, lift through the legs, lower down. Inhale, all four. Lower down. Inhale, all four, bend the knees, reach back for your feet, push your feet into your hands for bow. If your feet aren't accessible, maybe try grabbing onto the back of your leggings, your socks, or using a strap. Release the feet, hands come right underneath your shoulders. Push back into child's pose. Toes together, knees wide. Arms reaching long, forehead coming to the mat or a block. You may also stack your fists one on top of the other and rest your forehead there, or drape your arms alongside the body for embryo. Take a breath, let it out. Let's bring both hands under the shoulders. Start to slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Bring the knees a little bit closer. Head comes up last, and then we rise up on the knees. Bring your arms around and rest the heels of your hands on the top of your backside. We're moving into camel, so we want to lift the gaze toward the ceiling. You have a couple of variations you can go for right here. You can stay here, or you can tuck your toes under, lean back a bit further for the tops of your heels, or keeping the hands on the tops of the heels, tops of the feet down. You choose which one suits you the best. One more breath and level out your gaze. We're going to bring our hands down to the floor, swing the legs around you, and come into a seated position on your mat. Moving into boat pose, I want you to make a letter V with your body. The chest is lifting tall, the spine is lifting tall, and we bring our hands to the sides of the legs. It's really important to keep that chest lifted, so I'm going to show you a few options to this move, but make sure whichever option you choose, you can continue to keep that chest lifted. You might take your hands off, you might lift your feet up. You might extend your feet out, you might extend your hands wide, you might take everything wide. Whichever you choose, get into it, keep that chest lifted for the next 20 seconds. Focus on your breath, keeping it even. If you start to shake a bit, you're right on target. Avoid pushing the legs together. Make them work independently to keep your core strong. Let's set the feet down. Start to roll all the way down to the mat, extending both legs straight up to the ceiling, both arms straight up to the ceiling. We'll be lowering down opposite arm and leg. Your options are to hover it, to let it tap, or bend the knee and tap down with the toe if you're not able to keep that low back anchored. Let's begin by alternating left arm, right leg, come up. Right arm, left leg, and come up. Keep moving, focusing on the breath, and working toward keeping your lower back anchored. If it's popping up, remember your options. Tap the ground or bend the knee. Breathe your way through it. And pause here. So release the heels down to the mat. Make sure they stay directly under your knees. Palms down on the mat. Scoop your pelvis just a little bit till you feel your lower back connecting with the floor. And then just peel the spine the rest of the way up. Pull your hips a bit closer, or your heels a bit closer toward your hips. And feel the back side of the legs start to engage a little bit. And then we slowly lower down, one vertebra at a time. Bringing those knees back into the chest. Release the feet to the floor, palms to the ground, scoop, peel, pause, pull the heels closer to your hips. Slowly lower down, one vertebra at a time, knees to the chest.